Welcome to the Wallace Show Aftercast. All those things we didn't get to during the course of the show today.
What a start.
I don't know.
He's back. The man professing that Iceland was where everything got good.
I was healthy like all through Iceland. I had been sick right before the trip, and then for a month. And then I got better, and we went to Iceland and Paris because my daughter was getting engaged, and it was a surprise for her. She didn't know. And, we get there, I'm fine. Nose not stuffy. I'm golden. And then I come home. I fly on a few planes yesterday, and all of a sudden my nose is all stuffed up again the second I got back here. I'm like, what in the world? I took allergy medicine and stuff. I don't understand what's going on. Because I don't feel bad, but again, my nose we're not going to do this.
Might be this building.
I wonder.
Were you bad at home, or is it just the...
Yeah, unfortunately, I was bad at home, too. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why. But maybe it was the ice plunge bath that I took in Iceland.
Looked healthy.
We're going to do a slippidy slideshow this week when Betty's in. She's out. She had today off because she had plans over the weekend, and so she was taking a vacation day. But I went to this place in Iceland called... something lagoon. So basically, they have Iceland is a giant volcano. I mean, it's just there's tectonic plates that are hitting there. There's volcanic activity, and it's cold. But then you have the volcanoes, which are hot. That's the land of fire and ice. And so most of their heating is geothermal, and that's how they get their electricity and stuff because they have these pools of water that are just warm in the midst of this frozen tundra. There's these warm pools. And so we went to this one, and it was a lot of fun to go to. I'm not going to get too involved with it because we'll probably talk more when we do the Slippery Slideshow. But they had this thing. You had to do these 7 things as part of it, and one of those was a cold plunge. Oh, my gosh. I forgot to ask how cold the water was.
Oh.
But it was, it had to be low 40s.
Just above
above freezing, yeah. I mean, it was... It stung when you got in, and then when you got into the warm water right back out of it, it stung even worse.
It was contrast so bad. Dramatic.
I did it 5 times, to get better pictures and stuff for the show.
Worth it.
I know. And my daughter was like, let's do it again. Okay. And then I drug my wife in kicking and screaming, which was really funny. She did not want to do it. But that was one of the coolest things that we got to do there. It was just a great trip, but it's good to be back. If you listen to the regular show, I thought I was going to see cops take down a guy in the airport. There was a guy behind me in line. Everybody's travel got messed up yesterday in Atlanta, and there was a guy behind me that was just really mad. The airline was messing with him and stuff, and he's like, they made me check my bag, but it had my heart pills in it. And so I asked him, well, what kind of heart medicine are you on? Because I'm like, I'll give you some of mine if it's the same thing. And he's like, I have to take 2 pills every 4 hours, or 4 pills every 2 hours because I'm on a transplant list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so...
Less dramatic.
Yeah, but then he's like, and they won't get my bag for me. It's here, and they won't get it for me. I'm like, oh, dude. I watched in Dulles in Washington, D.C., same type situation. Guy's like, I need my medicine for a kidney thing. And they wouldn't get it for him. And he was like, well, then, you're going to get sued when I die. And this guy said the same thing. I go, wow, the last guy said the same thing. Do you guys compare notes or something? And so line. And I felt bad for this guy, man. I was like, look, I know it doesn't help much, but I know you're super stressed now. If you want to, and this is a massive line, I'm like, if you want to go in front of us, it only saves you a couple places, but at least it's 2 less times of stressing while we were waiting for your space. And he's like, oh, that's so nice of you, thank you. And so he took that, and it's funny because he ended up cutting in front of the person in front of me as well, and she didn't say anything. She was cool too because she had been hearing the whole story. But yeah, it was a crazy busy day. A great trip traveling with Spencer, my daughter's now fiance, and his family. Yeah, that's a weird thing to say.
I was going to say,
thing.
You do have to say it. That's an interesting concept that you don't get to be you don't have a daughter that's just waiting for that now. Yeah,
and so now we're going to be getting into all of those conversations, and everybody was speaking into it, about where they should get married and everything, and his family has opinions, I have opinions, Spencer has opinions, my daughter has them, my wife, and at the end of the day, I said, you and Spencer really need to just get with each other and decide what you want, because honestly, that's what it's about, and everyone will be good with that. I think we're going to give you advice, and perspective on ways that we all think, hey, this could be cool or this could be cool. But at the end of the day, you do what's good for you guys, and I don't care. Like I'm fine with it. And so it was a good trip, and I got to see him. You learn about people when you travel with them. That's if you want to learn about somebody and really get to know them, travel with them. That's the best way. But I really loved watching him roll her suitcase for her, giant suitcase for her with his through the airport, and watched him be intentional with her on things, and watched him be goofy with her on things, and watched him when she was struggling to cut her steak for her. She is the worst at cutting steak. Yeah, but she's the worst at cutting steak. She's never been good at it. I don't know. I've tried to show her so many times, and she like grabs the knife with like this death grip, and like somehow it's like her arms are backwards. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Point the knife away from yourself.
Yeah, I have no idea how she missed that. That and riding a bike are the two things my daughter cannot do. But yeah, everyone dotes on her, which is nice because he only has brothers. And so cool. I think for his mom, I think she likes having the idea of a daughter-in-law. And so everyone dotes on her a little bit. And like we went on this river cruise to go to like past the Eiffel Tower and everything in Paris. And like, so it's a nice dinner and stuff. And you're on this little boat. And my wife and I had ordered steaks and ordered them well done. And
why?
Because I figured they were going to cook it medium. Like even if you say well in France, I'm like they're going to cook it medium. And hers and my steak came out perfect. Haley's on the other hand, she ordered it medium. It came out almost raw. It was red and just horrible. But I'm like, baby, you can take mine. And she's like, no, it's okay, Dad. I'm like, just take mine. Mine's perfect. You'll love it because mine was kind of like medium well. And so she took hers. Or she took mine, and I ate hers, and it was like cutting Jell-O. It was so gelatinous and soft. And I will tell you this, it didn't taste bad, but in my head, I know I'm eating something that is really undercooked.
You see it.
Oh yeah.
Like if I didn't look at the food and I took that bite of that living cow at that point, because I like a medium rare. That's like the right way to eat steak. But in my mind, there are times when we'll go to restaurants, like there's one that we did a fancy one here in town, Cork and Cow, when we did one of our big anniversaries a couple years ago.
Cork and Cow is great.
And I was like, okay, we got to go big for this one. Went there, and I'm like so psyched about it. And then I got the steak in medium rare, and I mean, like it just looked like red. Like it just did that raw feeling.
Kissed the fire and was off.
This is a little. I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna like it, but I don't like that I can see it.
Like, if I ever get a steak that comes out medium, I never order it that way. But if it comes out medium, I'll eat it. I won't send it back. And this one, everyone was like, just send it back. Send it back. Have them put it on. And I'm like, I don't know. It'd be the second time I've offended a chef in Paris.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like 15 years ago, I made a chef mad, and he came out to scold me because I didn't want the crepes with everything he wanted in them. And, there were a couple of moments that I was not the best me. With people sometimes on interacting with people that were just oblivious and kind of rude. It was I'm not a fan of France like anymore. Like if I never have to go back to France, I'll be good. And I don't know that it's like purposeful. I think the people there are just curt, and they're direct, but like. There's not like this great emotion. There's not a warmth to a lot of them.
Because being like, direct and like sometimes we appreciate that
right.
Here, but they do it in a way that feels kind of
it feels rude, and like I know they're not
better than you.
Yeah, and I hate to make that generalization, but I encountered a lot of that. But in Iceland, I encountered really nice people, but it was the same thing as maybe it's a European thing but they were very, very just stoic or curt or whatever about how they responded with you. Like we're more outgoing or more, what's the word? Like congenial.
Okay, I was gonna say kind of like America not everyone has Southern comfort here.
Right.
But there is like a hospitality that I think we generally can show each other.
Yeah. So I did not love Paris. Like I would have been good finishing the trip in Iceland. That was enough. Like 4 days there, plenty. Enjoyed it. Got to do some really cool things. I would have been like, that was it. But we've been traveling, and we traveled so much for this one and we came back, and our Christmas tree is still up because we put it up before we left. I felt like I'd already done Christmas, honestly.
Yeah, you have 23 days to go.
I know, and Lord knows I already bought enough presents because Vacation Dad was in full effect. And so I feel like Christmas is over already. Like, I've moved on, and I've still got it. And Thanksgiving was weird because we were at the Disneyland park.
Do anything for?
No, nothing. Because obviously over there it's not a thing. Yeah. Like, they probably don't like Thanksgiving over there because it means we left them in the UK, at least in Europe or Britain. All right, so Betty Rock is going to be back in tomorrow. So we'll have more of a full Aftercast and probably a Slippity slideshow at some point in time this week, later in the week, maybe around Wednesday. But for today, that's going to have to do it for your Aftercast. And as always, thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children. But with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.